So this lead singer, she really shouts, like really shouts. Hello everyone, Ryan here, and today I'm doing a review on the new Downtown Boys album titled Cost of Living. Their debut came on Don Giovanni Records, and now they've moved over to the huge Sub Pop record label. Sub Pop Records is this pretty big indie rock record label, indie pop label. You've obviously heard of them by now, and whenever a band moves over to that record label, I usually kind of get quite, excited, or my expectations are hired a bit because how good Sub Pop usually is with their releases. And I didn't hear the debut album, Full Communism by Downtown Boys, although I feel like I have heard it. It's one of those album names that I feel like I've heard before. I don't know, I listen to that many albums, maybe I have heard it, but I've probably forgotten. And as a band, they're meant to be this punk rock band. I mean, again, I didn't hear that debut, but on this sophomore release, I don't know if I would call this punk rock. I mean, if this is punk rock, then the standards for punk rock have kind of changed. I mean, they must have. To me, this album sounds like an indie rock album with a singer that just shouts. I mean, I know punk rock music was always built on, singers that kind of like yelped down the microphone to kind of like get their point across and, to shout with their vocals kind of like sounding pretty crazy. But with that, there was always, the instrumentation to go along with it too. It was always fast-paced. It was always kind of like pummeling drums. The guitars always had the very, the chords that you would recognize in punk rock music. But this sounds more like the Strokes than any punk rock bands you would ever think of. I mean, yeah, sure, there are points that I'm reminded of the Descendants, but still, it never quite reaches the quality of music that they once did on Milo Goes to College. I don't know, perhaps it's just me, but I don't really feel the energy from this band in the way that I'm supposed to. The only member that I feel like there's energy coming from is the vocalist, and I'm not gonna lie, that's not an energy that I particularly enjoy. I will reiterate this point again because she really does shout down the microphone. I'm not talking like MC Ride of Death Grips kind of shouting. I mean, she literally just shouts, and I know I'm generally okay with that. I'm not expecting, the most beautiful lead singer ever to come across on this album, but I would expect some personality because I don't get any of that with her. Which really is a shame. I mean, punk rock music is definitely lacking in the female singer department. I mean, pretty much every punk rock band you'll hear or have ever heard is always male-led. And it's cool that there is a female vocalist in this band, but I'm not really feeling it. And instrumentally, they're not exactly adding anything new either. I mean, this is just your standard indie rock album, like I said, with vocals that are a bit more visceral, but if that's your thing, then totally check it out. I mean, I feel like this could appeal to a lot of people. But for me, this isn't kind of the punk rock that I'm into. Yeah. I'm gonna give this a D. And if you've heard this album, make sure you let me know what you think of this album in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed, then do subscribe to the channel for more music reviews, and have a good day.